to be placed in an open area and fixed horizontally. When testing engines with greater pulling force, it is necessary to use a clamp or a weight to fix the bench. Preparation before starting the engine. Note: before testing the engine, make sure that no one is near the test area, especially the propeller area. Open the fuel tank cap and pour the fuel with a mixture ratio of 150 into the tank. Turn on the switch at the tank outlet. Engine fuel absorption. Click the servo power switch in the relay control window. Click Allow Fire Up, switch the button to Forbid Fire Up, and switch the test bench to the ignition state. At this time, the electric start and ignition buttons in the relay control window are switched from an inoperable state to an operable state. Adjust the throttle value of throttle from 1 to 50%. Click the electric start when the ECU is powered and the ignition is turned off. Observe whether the starter motor can drive the engine to rotate normally, and check whether there is fuel inhalation in the transparent fuel pipe. Note: new engines or engines that have not been used recently require multiple starting attempts until the carburetor's built-in diaphragm pump can pump enough fuel. To ensure that the starting motor is well cooled during multiple starts, the starting motor should not work for more than 8 seconds each time, and the starting interval should be no less than 2 to 3 minutes. Check and calibrate the fuel flow sensor. After the engine has finished absorbing fuel, there is static fuel in the fuel flow sensor, and make sure there are no bubbles in the fuel circuit. Observe the reading on the sensor display. When the reading exceeds the range of plus or minus 1, the fuel flow sensor needs to be calibrated. Open the control panel, press the up and down buttons at the same time, and the lower display will display calibrate or not. Select Yes and press the Mode button to complete the calibration. Note: after calibration, if the reading exceeds plus or minus 1, there may be bubbles in the sensor. You can ignite the engine and then turn it off for calibration. Test engine. Before testing, power on the fan and start it. In the control window, click Thrust and Torque Reset, Fuel Consumption Reset, One Button Reset, click Allow Fire Up, and adjust the throttle to 15%. In the relay control window, turn on the ECU power supply and ignition 1, and the button changes from red to green. Click Record. Click the electric start button to start the engine, and after the engine starts, release the start button. After the engine runs smoothly, the engine speed can be controlled by increasing or decreasing the throttle. The engine is started, and users can test according to test requirements. Test over. Stop and turn off the bench. Terminate the test. Slowly adjust the throttle to the idle position, that is, the throttle gradually decreases to 0%. Click Forbid Fire Up. You can see the relay control window. The ignition switches to the red off state. The engine is turned off. The data is automatically saved and the recording stops. Note: if the engine is tested for a long time at high power, it is necessary to reduce the throttle to a low speed state and run for a few minutes, and then turn off the ignition switch after the engine cools down. After the engine is turned off, if there is no other test content, turn off the fan. Turn off the switch at the fuel tank outlet, off. Turn off the power supply of the acquisition box. Turn off the main power supply of the control box, and finally turn off the UPS power supply. Note: please turn off the UPS power supply after the test to prevent the built-in power supply from running out of power. Test completed. The teaching of the usage of our WF-EN-55 Max series has been completed. Thank you for watching.